The scripture today speaks about the virtue of humility. And Jesus asks all of us to practice humility by giving two examples of humility. The first example we read in the gospel: if you are invited for a wedding feast, take the lowest seat. The second example Jesus says is, if you are giving a wedding feast, invite the poorest people, the widows, the orphans, the crippled, the lame. They are the one whom you must invite because they are not able to repay you. And then God will repay you at the time of the resurrection. What is this humility? If you want to understand what is humility, we must know what is the opposite of humility. What is the opposite of humility? It is a pride. And it is a pride that destroys everything. We all have pride. I have pride. You also have pride. But the amount of pride varies. The more humble you are, the less pride you have. If you have more pride, then your humility will be very low. As Christians, we need to eliminate pride by growing in humility. When we grow in humility, the pride will be eliminated, destroyed. The pride is like weed, whereas humility is like seed. Weed, we don't have to plant. It grows everywhere. It doesn't need any nurturing or any care. It doesn't need water. It doesn't need any fertilizer. It doesn't need any care. The weed grows everywhere. It grows in every human heart, whereas humility is like a seed that needs care and nurture. If you don't nurture the seed, it cannot grow. The seed needs water, fertilizer, and all kind of care it needs. Otherwise, it cannot grow. So in the same way, humility, if we want to bring up the humility, we have to give extra care. Then only the humility will grow in our hearts. So if the weed is destroyed, then only the seed can grow. If humility wants to grow, then the pride must be destroyed. Remember, God cannot dwell in a pride heart. God dwells only in a humble heart. So if we need God in our hearts, if we want to see God, we need humility. And only with humble hearts, we will be able to experience God in our life. Now let us look into the Bible, the scripture. The source of pride is the devil. Lucifer is the king of all the devils. He was an angel, a seraphim, the highest position of all the angels. And when he had pride, he wanted to become like God. He challenged God, and as a result, he was punished, and he became a devil. Again, we see in the scripture, Adam and Eve, they fell because of their pride. The devil induced them, by eating this fruit, you will become like God. And they wanted to become like God, and because of their pride, they fell down. They lost everything. Again, we see their children, Abel and Cain. Cain killed Abel because of his pride. So if you look into the scripture, from the very beginning till the end, pride is a cause of all the ruin and destructions. All the wicked things, all the evil things, all the distractions, they all happen because of pride. Pride cannot make anything, it can destroy us. So pride will take us in the air, whereas humility will take you down to the earth. God is the best example of humility. Jesus Christ, he became a human being. It's because of God's humility. He took the form of a human person, human being, like a slave, like a homeless. He was born in a manger. He has no house at all. He went down to the earth. He lived as a homeless. He was wandering and preaching. He has no house at all. That is his humility. He ate with the poor people. He walked, lived with the poorest people. He ate with the sinners and tax collectors. That was his humility. Even when he was arrested, they mocked at him, they spat on his face, they tortured him, persecuted him. He kept silence. That was his humility. So God is humble, and he is the best example of humility. And he asks all of us as children of God, we also must practice that humility in our life. As children of God, we must also practice humility in our life. Let us look into our own life. When we look into our hearts, we see that we are someone. If I look into my own heart and I see I am someone, I need to be respected, and I expect respect from others, that means I have pride. When I do something in the church or in the community or in the society, I expect an appreciation from others, then I have pride. So I expect a reward or appreciation from everybody if I have pride. But if I am humble, if I have humility, I can come down to the earth without any expectation. If I have humility, when I look into my heart, I can see everything that I have, it is God. God gave me my health. God gave me everything, the family, the house, the car. So every property or everything that I own, they are gifts from God. And I thank every moment of my life, and I must be always grateful to God for everything. That is humility. When you reach the church, you reach safely. It's not because of you are a perfect driver, but it is because God was taking care of you. If you are humble, you will always thank God. When you are flying in a flight, it's not because of the captain is efficient, but it is because of God is taking care of you. We must be grateful to God if we are humble. So we thank God for everything that we receive, everything that we own, and that is humility. So when I look into my heart, I see nothing as my own. Everything I have, they are from God. That is humility. But a pride person, he thinks everything is mine. I own my car, I own my house, I own my business, everything is mine. So he is up in the air. That is pride. Dear brothers and sisters, let us practice humility. Then the pride will be eliminated by itself. We must be humble before God. And we also must be humble before the people. We must be humble before God. Respect God everywhere. Respect God in the Eucharist. Respect God in the people. So if I am humble, then I cannot receive simply as the Eucharist as we receive anything else. I must be so respectful and fearful when I receive the Eucharist, if I have humility. The places of where the presence of God is, the church, I respect the place of the presence of God if I have humility. I venerate, I bow down my head before the altar every time I move around if I have humility. But if I don't have humility, I will have pride, and I don't care whether it is church or anything else. I talk in the church as if I am somewhere else. I walk around as if some other places. I don't give any respect to God in the church if I have pride. Respect the people of God. That is also a form of practicing humility. We have people, the authorities, church authorities, Pope, Bishop, priests. They are the people who bring God into us. They carry God with them. Respect them if we have humility. Respect the people around us. They also carry God. Presence of God is there in everybody. Respect every human person around us. That is a way of practicing humility. Dear brothers and sisters, the devil gives us the pride. He induces every person. It is like weed. It grows everywhere, in every heart. We must work hard to pluck out every roots of the weed from our hearts. Then only the humility can grow. And the humility that helps us to see the face of God in the Eucharist and in the people. the humility that helps us to fear the presence of God. It is the humble heart where God can dwell. It is the humble heart that we can see God. So let us practice humility and destroy the pride from our hearts completely and permanently. The first thing, we must pray every day. Pray every day. Lord, give me a humble heart so that I may see you. Secondly, practice in everything that we do, every people we meet, practice humility. Thirdly, confess the sins of pride. We must confess every sin that commit due to pride. Then we can grow in humility. God bless all of us.